Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Force for Growth Show. I'm Ricardo.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Courtney. And on Mondays, we talk about our word of the week, which is a program. Well, it's a little set that we got from Do 52. And the set is called Do 52 from the company House of Shine. And we have 52 sticks that we draw on Monday. We pick one out. And this week, I really like this one. So our word of the week this week is cook. And let's see, I'm going to throw it back to Michelle. What are some definitions or some meanings behind that?
Okay, so it's interesting. So the normal definitions are prepare by combining and heating the ingredients in various ways, which we could very much go into personal growth and development on that. Be heated so that the condition required for eating is reached, and then heat food and cause it to thicken and reduce in volume. However, there are informal definitions
definitions.
And I like them. They're really awesome. So alter dishonestly or falsify, be happening or planned, and perform or proceed vigorously or well, which those go very well into personal growth and development. So Ricardo, what do you think about those?
Man, who brought it? I don't remember who brought it up this morning. I think our friend Tamara brought it up this morning. She said, cooking the books, which means falsifying those books, right? And I know that doesn't fit into self-development, but I thought that was pretty funny that we brought back the 1950s gangster slang of cooking those books.
Yeah.
Having two sets of books, the real book and then the fake book, right? And to turn that into the self-development, we have two sets of books in our head. We have the real book and the fake book. We have the truth that is the truth of what's going on in our lives, and we have the lies that we tell ourselves. So those cooked books, those lies, those phony books, we have to get rid of those pages in that phony book, in those phony books and those numbers, and live authentically in our real book, not the cookbook.
It's like the gap that Dr. Joe Dispenza describes in his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. There's a gap between who you're being and who your true self is. And that's the cooked book and the authentic book. And then obviously the other ones are really good too.
Yeah. They are. That's where the question that's coming to my mind right now is why not make your own cookbook? And I'll explain. So this morning, what that word meant to me. So I have an older sister, and our mother wasn't much of a cook. She would say the same thing in her own words, but I didn't learn how to cook from my mother. When my sister got married and kind of started her domesticated life, if you will, I remember she always trying to teach me the same thing and just, I guess, civilized me more. But so I started to learn how to cook. And I remember being so overwhelmed. I was like, I can't do it. It's just way too much. And she's like, Courtney, you read the instructions and you do what it says. Pour, stir, turn on the stove, bake. Like, it's very simple when you break it down. So as you were talking about that, Ricardo, and that's what I brought up this morning on our 6 a.m. call, which, by the way, that's where did I say that's at the intro? On our 6 a.m. calls where we do the Do 52. But why not make your own cookbook? Like, why not sit there and think, okay, what do you want to cook up? And then break down the steps that you think you might need to start with. And then start, go, try, and then reevaluate and edit your cookbook. Why not? Why don't we think of it in that term? So that's what I'm going to tell myself. I'm going to make my own cookbook.
I think even along with that is baby steps. So whenever you set a goal and you figure out the steps to get there, and then just allow yourself to do the baby steps. Turn on the stove, stir, put the ingredients in, whatever, one baby step at a time. And the compound effect helps you to get to your goal.
A few years down the road, you can be a magnificent chef. It's just baby steps. Yeah.
That's really good. Or if you have a cup of something and maybe it's too much or not enough, be aware of it, analyze it, and add a little bit more to your recipe and continue cooking.
Yes. Recipes
time.
are a lot about balance too, just like life, huh?
Yeah, they are.
are.
A little bit too much sugar, a little bit too much spice. It's
Mm-mm.
nice, but
Bobby says, I'm cooked, exhausted. That's a good one.
oh,
Mhm.
that is a good one. That is a good one. I'm cooked, exhausted. That band is cooking.
Yeah.
That means that they're really rocking it. So another
I
one
want to
here
bring
that
that
we
one
could,
back.
yeah, we could bring that one back. Are you cooking your week? Are you cooking? Are you cooking this week? Are you cooking this week on those leads? Are you making those phone calls?
Yeah.
Are you cooking on those commissions? Are those commissions cooking?
Oh, here's one I've always loved. Marinate on it a little. Just marinate
Ooh.
on that. So before you get started on something, it's okay to marinate on it a little. Kind of. Well, what am I trying to think of? Like the 7 steps, the 7 levels deep that you brought up. Yeah. So you just think about an outcome and think about it actually happening and go 7 layers deep. And just with that, a very short summary of that is just to think kind of 7 steps. Okay, well, if that did happen, what would that look like? If that did, and just after you go 7 layers deep, you might not want to make that recipe.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to
You
keep
might want to
cooking
double
though.
down.
So do you ever stop cooking or do you just slow down?
Just
think
turn
you
it down. Turn it down to simmer. Turn that temp down just a little bit.
And it's okay to turn that temp down, right? It's okay to back it off because the heat's too hot. Wow, we're really cooking here with this one, guys.
If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you know what? Sometimes you have to get out of the kitchen. Sometimes that kitchen is not the right kitchen for you.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so you have to step back and get out of that kitchen. Man.
Awareness of your environment, man. Yeah. Okay. So that's another self-development cliche. Let's bring the cook back to. So if you picture your life as an oven metaphor and you look at the 5 closest people that you're around, there's metaphors out there that you make your income matches the 5 closest people you're around. There is statistics on how mentally they kind of like osmosis, their mentality and how they go about their life will get into you. So it's just your environment. So that would be a situation where get out of the kitchen, like you're starting to be cooked yourself.
Yeah.
So awareness of where your feet are, right, Michelle?
Exactly. Be where your feet are.
Be where your feet are.
My favorite.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's see here. Bobby says, find the ingredients and or a recipe. That's a good point. Yeah. Back to the classics here. It doesn't have to be your recipe. It could be somebody else's recipe that you refine and make it your own.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. You can learn so much and speed, I think we talked about that a week or two ago, is speeding up that knowledge. So you can learn from other people's mistakes and, you can teach from yours too. So the experiences I've had, I can teach other people and help them avoid pitfalls and help them get there faster.
Yeah. And it's really just a template, right? You're just providing a recipe and everybody's free to add and remove and more, less of whatever ingredient may or may not be working for them. Yeah.
Tony talks about finding a mentor. And so if there's something you want to accomplish, I can't remember what it was. There was something he's talked about multiple times that he wanted to accomplish. And so instead of doing all the research and figuring it out on his own, he went and found someone who did it and said, how did you do it?
The classic story that he tells is the polo story. Where
I don't know if I've heard that one.
Where he was learning how to play polo and he went to the grandmaster of polo and he wanted to learn polo in like a week or something ridiculous like that. And the guy's like, it takes a lifetime to master and so on and so on. And
that's funny. I haven't heard that in a while.
The polo story. Yeah, that's a classic. That's a classic Tony-ism, the polo story, right? What else, ladies?
Let's see, especially because the horse he was given was not the strongest horse. So he had to be resourceful. Am I right? Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, anyway, Ernie the
there's
horse.
Something funny about the horse he was handed too. Anyway, you'll have to look that up. But just okay, so here's another one. Dietary substitutions. Like if you think it might be better with X as the ingredient versus X over here, which is in the recipe, try it. Like try it on like a pair of pants. Just try it. and see. And if it didn't work out, try again. That's why we have so many cookbooks, is because women, humans, people have been mixing and making things for years, and some stuff doesn't mix, some stuff makes really good and makes a cake, so it's just following the resources and research others have done and then utilizing it, just like Michelle broke down. It's that simple. It's not always easy, but when we get analysis paralysis and you get caught up in all the details and all the overwhelm, it doesn't feel simple. It feels like a mountain of, how am I going to make this recipe happen? And that's going to take me 5 years. And that's going to, no, just baby steps. Deep breath. What's the next step? Deep breath. What's the next step?
Trial and error.
Trial and error. So for everyone just tuning in, the word of the week is cook. So we're just having a conversation on what the word cook brings up. What comes to your mind? Comment below. Let us know what comes to your mind when you hear the word cook as it relates to self-development, life, or any other endeavor in your being, in your life. But let me ask you ladies real quick. Oh man, that sounds so bad that I'm going to ask that I said that right before I'm going to ask y'all this. What's your favorite thing to cook? Oh, that sounds awful.
What's your favorite thing to cook, Ricardo?
You're judging yourself way too much.
I don't really cook. I'll throw a hot dog in the microwave for 30 seconds and boom. I'll open the bag of potato chips and melt some cheese over them. Bang. That's pretty much it.
I've gotten to where I'm all about quick and easy and efficient. And so I like to cook, throw things together that are quick and easy. Mm-hmm. I don't like to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. It's just, I don't know, just have better things to do with my time.
Yeah. I'm a really good Southern cook. That was kind of the genre I picked right up. And Mike's mom for years would get me cookbooks of like Paula Deen's for Christmas. And so, and then I had my vegan phase for a few years. And so I make a really good, some like basic vegan like lunches and type stuff that people would not think would be good. Oh, I've fed it to a lot of people and they've not realized it's vegan until I tell them. And but smoothies, I make some mean smoothies because I managed Smoothie King back when I was 18 for a few years, and I'm still a smooth operator.
Wait a minute, you managed the Smoothie King?
Yeah, Smoothie King Garland, 4 years.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's where I got the apothecary and the skincare line. I think that's where I got I like to mix with powders and make in my little laboratory. Only I happen to be doing it, when I was bored and there were no customers, I'd sit there and make up my own new smoothies and what covers up the nasty taste of this protein powder or this or this. And
how long did you live that life for?
Well, I haven't really stopped since then.
No, I mean the Smoothie King.
Smoothie King, 4 years. That was so from 16 to 20. Yeah.
Wow. That's a long time for a teenage job.
Yeah. It's what got me into, well, I don't think there are any pictures of me as a teenager, but I technically lost 80 pounds since then. And so I was a lot more overweight at that time. And anyway, I'll have to show y'all a picture because I don't even think y'all believe me. But that's what got me into that healthy lifestyle. That's when I started working out and got into supplements, herbs, you name it, and kind of the unhealthy side of it. I can tell you all about the high-powered, high caffeine exercise supplements like Redline. Oh my goodness, our store was like a test store for the original formula of Redline. That shit is dangerous. I'm sorry, but that is dangerous. Yeah. Don't do it. So anyway, so things like that a friend of ours actually got a heart murmur that worked at the store because we would just hound caffeine like nobody's business. But that's where I learned all that.
My first job was cooking at a Whataburger.
Really?
Yeah.
This will date me. Mine was working at a video store.
What?
VCR tapes.
So you're the one. So you had to make sure all the tapes were rewound before you put them back on the shelf.
Had the little rewinder that you stuck it in and it would rewind the movie. Yeah.
Yep. Man, whoever thought of that rewinder was like, man, we got to make some kind of industrial thing that just rewinds because we got to rewind all these videotapes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, some good memories. Good memories. Some of my best memories were going to the video store and picking up a video with somebody.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It's going out there. It's not quite the same zooming through Netflix or Zoom or Apple TV and picking out a movie. It's not quite the same.
No, we'd go hang out up at Blockbuster for hours. Like, I don't know what we were doing. But yeah, our friends worked there or something like that.
And so you would go hang out at Blockbuster, then Michelle would run you off.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
She'd be like, you kids, get away from here. You got the kids, you gotta go, kids. You can't be hanging out here, kids.
Right.
Oh man. So final thoughts, guys. The word cook.
Man, what are you cooking? What's cooking good looking? So like just see, you'll know how to drop that somewhere. Like I've had it stuck in my head this morning, that country song. Just ask yourself, what do you want to work on? And then build a rough draft cookbook. What do I think I need to do next? And just try it. But like, don't think you have to know it all right now. You're just testing it out. You're just figuring it out. You're just playing around with the ingredients, so just play, cook.
Yeah.
Any other metaphor names that yes.
Close that gap between maybe where you are and authenticity.
Yep. And for me, I think it's okay to play around with your recipe. It's okay to play around with your recipe and modify it as you go. Bobby says, how about cooking something up with me?
Yes. Good looking.
How's about cooking something up with me?
Man.
Oh, man.
We're this close to having theme songs, you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ricardo would allow it, but I'm pushing for it.
Oh, man. I think, we got to drop it, too. You got to smell what the Rock is cooking.
Yes.
We got to drop that one.
I love The Rock. If you want to talk about a mentor, if you want to watch a video every day that's just like 2-3 minutes, like check out what The Rock has posted on his stories or something. Like he's a great one to follow because he's entertaining, but he's real. Like he's on point. He breaks it down.
He's definitely on
and
point.
Wakes up at like 3:30 a.m. every day. So.
Really?
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you and your relentless mind you need to check out The Rock's daily schedule. Your jaw would be on the ground. None of us can complain.
I'll have to check it out. All right, guys. I think that's all the time we have that's all the time we have today. We'll be back on Wednesday for another episode of the Force for Growth show. Remember, you can go to forceforgrowth.com to subscribe to iTunes, YouTube, and all of your favorite podcast channels. We're on video, we're on audio, we're everywhere. And for those of you listening live, thank you for joining in. For those of you tuning in to the recording, this was actually recorded live, which is why it's so much fun, because we don't know what we're going to say and we don't really plan this stuff out. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be back on Wednesday. And Bobby, on The Rock, he is a beast.
Yep. See, Bob, we need to get Ricardo into that.
I'll have to go check it out.
Ricardo will show you it. Who did win the photo contest? It was Selena Gear, which I think is fantastic. Like, you go be that Uber fan. Like, the bands need our support. The stores need our support, So who can you be an Uber fan for,
I'll be an Uber fan for The Rock this week. I'll go check him out this week.
I'm already an Uber fan of The Rock.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be back on Wednesday. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in.